The doors opened on the Green Line at the Westlake Station in Seattle as Ian Witkoff followed a group of people onto the car. He, like most of the others around him, had just left work and was making the most of this inexpensive form of transit. Sure, he didn't care much for the crowding most days, nor did he really like having to endure the occasional lunatic that would scream and piss everywhere. But it was much cheaper than driving. Granted, the biggest cost for him at this current point in life would be the actual purchase of a vehicle. More freedom and the ability to take a day trip on his days off would be great, sure, but the subway was fine for now. Today was a pretty normal one, a mediocre Wednesday afternoon with a mediocre day preceding it. His current 9 to 5 was more monotonous than it was exciting, but he was okay with that. Predictable and consistent. He liked that about being a paralegal. He didn't have to worry about job security since he was a lifeline for many of the practicing attorneys and partners at the firm. He liked the little bit of interaction he would get with the clients, whether it was the smiles and warm thank yous or helping them deal with the frustrations of the process. He took most things in stride and felt accomplished by the end of the day. A smile crept its way across his face as the train started to move. He had it pretty good at the young age of 22. A handful of good friends, and everyone at the firm got along with him and each other pretty well. He turned a bit and watched the info screen on their route. 26 minutes until his stop at Greenwood Avenue. Ian pulled his phone out and started checking on the status of an Amazon delivery. Then he looked at the weather for the next few days and finally ended up scrolling through some news articles. An announcement came across the speakers that roused him from his phone.
Stop 40038, North 105th Street and Greenwood Avenue North, approaching.
He pocketed his cell as he stood and grabbed his backpack. The train came to a stop moments later, and Ian, along with several others, disembarked. He shouldered his bag as he stepped onto the platform. Moving with a few others towards the exit, he got sight of a man sitting along one of the walls, asking for money with a sign that read, "Aspiring Comedian, $1 per joke," written on the inside of a pizza box. The man smiled wide as Ian looked his way. He was missing a few teeth, and those that remained looked yellowed and crooked. "Hey, want to hear a joke?" he said with a eerily enthusiastic voice that rang clear and tonal, despite his appearance. Ian raised his hand and shook it along with his head as he returned a polite smile and mouthed, "No thanks," as he continued to walk along. "What happened to the lawyer who lost his legs?" the man said as Ian kept walking. "He became a paralegal." Ian stopped and turned back to the man, who was laughing with his eyes wide open, staring right into Ian's. "Oh, come on," he said with a giddy tone. "That was a good one. Give me a smile. An applause." $1, he finished, his tone getting low. Ian stood there, watching him continue to laugh. Did he know him? Did he know his profession? The man stopped laughing instantly and glared at Ian. "Well, Ian," he said with a low, gravelly voice as he held out a small cup in front of him. $1 is perfectly fair, I think." Ian stared for a moment more before hiking up his backpack and quickly walking away, heading up the stairs. As he exited, he was met with the nearly ever-present drizzle that he had grown used to in the city. He pulled out of his pocket umbrella and made his way home, walking a couple miles before he came to the front of his modest 2-bedroom house. He put in the key and turned the deadbolt. Once inside, he picked up the Amazon package and closed the door. He set his bag and keys down on the small table by the entry and shook the umbrella a bit before he set it down to dry. After a shower and changing into some baggy sweatpants and an oversized t-shirt, Ian checked his fridge for something to eat. "Damn it," he said, not seeing the light come on and feeling a lack of cold air. He checked the freezer, which was cool but not cold. Ian groaned as he closed the doors. He pulled the fridge out from the wall a bit and saw that the cable was still plugged into the outlet. He smacked the fridge in frustration, and upon doing so, he heard the compressor whir to life again. "Great. Time to get a new one, I guess," he muttered to himself. Ian looked over the collection of takeout and delivery menus he kept in a small drawer next to the oven, not trusting the state of food in the refrigerator. Chinese? Meh. Pizza? No. A gyro does sound pretty good, he said as he finds a menu for gyro time. He takes out a cell and dials the number. Gyro time. Pick up or delivery? The man on the other end asks. Delivery, please. Okay. Name and address. Ian, 11210 Finney Avenue North. Okay. What's your order? Let me get a chicken gyro with a Greek salad and rice. Okay. Cash or card? Cash. Okay. Give us 30 minutes. Sure, thanks. The man hung up with the clatter of a docked landline phone. Ian walked to his living room and turned on his Xbox. He looked over the selection of games in his library and opted for Diablo 4. He played for a while until his phone rang. He put the controller down and answered, not recognizing the number. Hello? Ian. Yes? I have a delivery for you. Hearing this, Ian stands up and walks towards the front door. Okay, I'll be there in a second. He opens the door and sees no one there. He steps outside, looking up and down the street, feeling that the driver might have gone to the wrong house. I don't see you. He hears laughing on the other end of the phone. Hello? What the hell, man? Who is this? The laughing continues as he hangs up the phone. Ian turns around and walks back inside, closing the door behind him. Real mature, he says as he walks back to the living room. The phone rings again. This time his friend Alan's name appears on the caller ID. Hello? Ian says, a hint of exasperation in his tone. I have a delivery for you. He must be using a voice changer or something. Ian gets frustrated. Okay, Alan, so funny. I ordered food and you had me thinking that it was the delivery. I'm here outside. Ian hears a fading laughter, then nothing on the other end. He turns again and opens the front door. Still, no one. He starts to close the door, but as he does, his gaze notices an object on the welcome mat. Ian looks down and recoils in horror. On the small concrete slab lies a bloody cell phone, a blood-soaked newspaper containing something, and, worst of all, the severed head of his friend Alan, staring up at Ian. He falls back into his house, scrambling away from the horrific scene. What the fuck? He stammers as his back meets the wall. Ian calls 911. 911, what's your emergency? Yes, there's I think a dead... there's the head of my friend at my door. Okay, sir, where are you? Are you in danger? I'm at home and Ian says, panicked. Okay, please try to calm down. Was there anything else? Anything else? Oh, God, I don't know, something wrapped in newspaper? Okay, we have a unit on the way. Please try to stay calm and lock your doors until they get there. I will stay on the line with you until they do, alright? Yeah, okay, he says as he gets up to close and lock the door. That voice sounds familiar. Did you look to see what was in the newspaper? Ian stops before closing the door all the way. What? No, what? Sir, please, look inside. He looks down and opens the door again. He takes the umbrella and prods the object. It feels squishy, and more blood starts to ooze out. I can't. Open it! The operator demands, the helpful tone now gone. What? How is that something you can demand of me right now? I know the law. I work at a... Open it, Ian! Ian freezes. His eyes gaze down at the bloody scene at his doorstep. He bends down, tears streaming down his face as he peels back the blood-soaked paper. He begins to retch as the paper peels off. What is it? What is it? What is it? The man is now maniacal as Ian hears him laugh into the phone. It's a liver. Boom! Punchline! Delivery! The operator, the man, the voice comes back to Ian. He sees the smile, the missing teeth, the cardboard sign. Aspiring comedian. $1 per joke. Laughing rages from his cell as Ian drops it in the pool of blood at his front door. He slumps against the entrance to his home, squeezing his head as he yells, "Stop! Stop!" A cop car pulls up and out steps the man from the subway, laughing. Across the street, Ian's neighbor emerges, but she also is the man from the subway, wearing a muumuu. Kids on their bikes stop and watch, but they too are the same man. The man from the subway, clad in the uniform of a city cop, walks toward Ian as the laughing subsides. The plat of his feet in small puddles on the concrete walkway ring in Ian's ears like a bell tolling the time. Hey, what do you call a paralegal cowering in fear because he didn't want to give the funny man $1 before he died? His voice was filled with lust and damnation. He unholstered the 9mm Glock and aimed it at Ian's head. Ian scrambled back, turning away and frantically crawling inside. He got to his feet and ran down the entryway, screaming, "Get the fuck away from me!" he yelled. The man laughed for a second, then cut himself short. No. He aimed the gun and pulled the trigger. The bullet struck Ian in the back of his skull, killing him instantly. The man walked over to the now dead body and started to laugh. What do you call a paralegal cowering in fear because he didn't want to give the funny man $1 before he died? You call him Ian, he says as he laughs, harder now, smacking the back of the corpse. Blood pools around Ian's head as the man takes $3 out of his wallet. The funny man always gets his due, he says as he walks out of the house into the neighborhood full of laughing people, all now looking like the man from the subway. The funny man.